Alright YouTube, so I got another truck review for you guys. So I'm going to start off this one inside because it's really windy and I have some stuff to say in the beginning, so I sort of want to knock that out first. But pretty much what you're looking at is the cab of a U-Haul or E-450 Ford E-450 15-foot box truck. Oh, actually, I'll go outside now and show you guys. It's a little windy, so hopefully you guys can bear with me. It's freezing cold too. I'm in a hotel parking lot, but this is a 15-foot box truck. 2017 F450. It has the V10 2-valve 6.8 liter Triton. You guys can see. And on this truck, I'm also hauling a Honda Ridgeline on their car trailer. And now a lot of you guys are probably going, hey, why do you use U-Haul, but you know, always go say use Penske or Ryder instead? Well, I didn't really have an option with this one. My truck here weighs it's like 4,500 pounds, and Penske's and Budget's car hauler trailer like this can't handle that much weight. So my Ridgeline weighs too much to use their car haulers. So U-Haul is the only one that actually has enough carrying capacity. As you can see, empty weight is 2190 and max cargo weight is 5300. This truck's 4500-ish for max is 7500. But that, like I said in previous videos, I like U-Haul's car trailers. They're great, or their trailers in general are really good. I never have a problem with them. They always tow nice. They don't wobble or anything like that. This one's got hydraulic brakes, surge brakes, and emergency brakes, and that works pretty good. Other than that, that trailer's pretty standard. The Ridgeline does fit on it, just barely. It does overhang quite a bit, but let's get back to the truck here. This is a 15-foot E450. These Econoline E-Series trucks have been around for years. Probably since the 70s, I believe. This one has the V10 Triton. You can also get this truck previously in a 5.4, and I think now you can get it in a 6.2 if you use the gaseous prep package. And so if you guys watched my video of the F650, I thought this engine was horrible for a truck that size, and I still believe it is. This truck, it's a little bit better for a truck this size. I think this size is probably the largest you'd want to, you know, use it with. This whole combination is about 17,000 pounds. The truck weighing in, I believe it's 82. That's weighing in 4,500 plus 2,100. And there's a whole bunch of stuff in the back of this box. But yeah, the power of the V10, it's there, but it's not. Once you get past, say, 30 miles an hour, it just becomes a bear to drive. You know, you full throttle it, you're trying to pass somebody on the highway, you're not going to. It's slow, cumbersome, and it uses a ton of gas. I just drove 700 miles yesterday, and I think my mileage, I actually can go look at it, I believe it's 7.3, but that's a good walk around. Just outside, this bumper's metal. I know some people question if that's plastic, but these tires on here, now these are the trucks that I've always warned people about being not maintained, and this truck of course is not any different. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the whole left side of the tire is bald and the whole right side of the tire here is perfectly new. So this tire they're not aligned right. Same on this side. The side of the tire's bald, but the back is good. The rear duals, they do use Michelin's. The rear duals look okay. I actually had the same tire but a little wider on my truck. Exhaust is back there, but yeah, this is actually a cutaway, and U-Haul adds this here fiberglass piece here to make it connected. Now, my biggest complaint with this truck, beyond the fact that it is a V10, is the fact that the cab is ungodly loud on the highway. This thing is extremely loud, painfully loud. You can't even have a conversation with somebody over there. And that's the combination between the engine constantly revving between 2800 and 4500 RPMs to maintain 70. It is an extremely loud engine in here, and extremely, as you guys can see, this fiberglass piece here, this is normally a cutaway truck where they put it flush against the box. U-Haul didn't do that. They added this thing to give you more room, probably, to lean back your seats, because other cutaway trucks I've driven, you can't lean the seat back at all. This gives you a little bit of room, so that is nice in that aspect. But once again, it is very loud in here on the highway. You hear everything. Lots of road noise, lots of air noise coming in through here. I blame that a lot on Ford. This chassis needs to be replaced a long time ago, and they kind of, there's a Transit, the Ford Transits are kind of the replacement for that, but big companies like U-Haul and the RV manufacturers really don't want to switch to them, because that's a lot of engineering redesign for them. And it's a pity too, because those chassis are a lot more efficient, a lot more comfortable today's standards. But this is your classic old, you know, rear-wheel drive, big V10, V8 van or pickup truck. This is essentially a truck. You may as well refer to it as that. So we'll go ahead and get into the inside here. So my second biggest complaint with U-Haul in their trucks is no cruise control. There is absolutely no cruise control in this truck at all. So if you're like me and you're going 700 miles, your right leg is going to be absolutely sore by the time you're done. All their competitors use cruise control. They say it's a safety thing, but their newest truck, the 2018 F650 26-foot trucks, are they have cruise control. So I don't see where they're coming at with the safety thing. But those are the only trucks. The truck in my previous U-Haul video, the 26-foot, that's the only style truck that has cruise control. This truck doesn't have cruise control. Doesn't have anything power. It's got manual locks, manual windows. These mirrors are the same ones on the F650, and I finally figured it out that these mirrors are not adjustable, which is a really safety hazard if you ask me. Ford has nice mirrors that go with this truck. I don't know why they don't use them. But these mirrors don't adjust. Like, this mirror for me is good. I can see it okay. It could use a little bit of adjustment, but that mirror over there, I absolutely can't see anything out that mirror. You know, going down the highway, it's just completely screwed up. Doesn't work for me. So I really wish they'd put adjustable mirrors where I could actually go in and make it so I could see the mirror. To actually see out of it, you kind of got to move your body to actually see, make sure nobody's in your blind spot, which is a pain after 700 miles. But moving on, the ride height's pretty good. Obviously it's not like the Isuzu where it's kind of, I don't know, bouncy and lots of visibility. You don't have as much visibility in this truck, but there's not much of a hood because it is more of a van style truck. Going over left to right, got your headlights, you got your dash dim, and if you push up a little bit more, that turns your rear box lights on. There's a little notch. Down here is your parking brake, which is very loud for some reason. Here, I'll set it, and then if you release it, it's really loud. Sounds like you're, I don't know, firing a gun off or something. Parking brake and gas pedals, your standard Ford setup. Same as steering wheel. The steering wheel's been around for ages. It's got a kind of a newer shifter. Over here you got a little cubby. I guess this is coin slots, but really that's not usable for anything. The older Ford air vents. Little climate control thing from the 90s. Hot, cold, normal, you know, very not user-friendly air conditioner thing. Who knows what it all does. I don't know why they don't just put like recirculate down here and fresh air. Who knows. Little 12-volt power outlets, one here, one here. I can't remember what this option was on the other truck, but this truck doesn't have it. You got an auxiliary input, and you got your airbag on and off. Radio's pretty standard, actually sounds pretty good, and you end up listening to this thing pretty loud because you can't hear it because the truck is so loud inside. Up top here, your standard what are these, visors on either side. U-Haul puts all these crazy dummy stickers on that are completely unnecessary. Maybe this one is probably the most useful. All the other ones are kind of worthless. I don't think they need. Even on the dash, You know, speed kills, slow down, and fuel estimations. You don't need all that. A little cubby down here that's kind of worthless because things slide out. A little tray. Something I wish U-Haul would do and follow suit like Ryder did. Ryder, if you guys saw the Isuzu, had little phone mounts mounted, like bolted to the dash or the, you know, the front instrument panel, and that made it really easy to hook up a GPS and make it stand still. There's no option for that in this truck. Seats wise, this passenger seat and the driver's seat are the same. Pretty comfortable, honestly. I like the seats. It's nice that it's not a bench. They don't raise up. I wish they raised up a little bit, but that's a common Ford thing. I've had an F-150 where the seats, nicely spec'd F-150 where the seats didn't raise up either. There is a middle seat here that slides back and forth. It doesn't lean back at all. It would not be comfortable for a long distance. This is how much foot room you get, so about the length of my pinky to my thumb. Then there's a dog house here because this is a V10, a very long engine. But yeah, third person's doable, but definitely not comfortable. It's definitely not going to be as much room as, say, the Freightliner or the International would be. So yeah, it's not going to be comfortable for 3 people. Maybe a kid. A kid would probably be just fine in this middle seat, but I wouldn't say adults should be sitting there. So yeah, got a little storage up here as well. So my biggest, summing up the cab again, my biggest gripes is how loud it is in here. And no cruise control. That's a real bummer. That almost would make me not use U-Haul again, because no cruise control. And the V10 it's okay in first gear power wise, but everywhere else it's just not a fun vehicle to drive, and it's horribly inefficient. Here, let's start it up, or turn the dash on at least. Got the forward thing where the key doesn't want to crank. There it goes. You think after 70 years they'd figure, well, 20, 30 years they'd figure that out. So there's my dash. Hopefully you guys can see it. See you guys around a little bit here. This truck has 30,000 miles on it. It's a 2017. 95 miles to empty, and I have about 3/8 of a tank. 7.2 average miles per gallon. That's pretty bad. The most I've seen it while driving is 8.1, and that's still really bad. But yeah, that's why I think the V10 is a horrible engine for trucks, just because of the fuel mileage. And this is the 2-valve, so this is the older version. I think it's 320 horsepower and 420 foot-pounds of torque. So it's not really diesel power like they claim it to be, but I don't know. Let's go ahead and start it up here. Go out to that exhaust pipe here. Hit the lights on too while we're at it. Rev it up for you guys. Alright, so back under the hood here, There's really not much to see. They shoehorn a V10 in there somehow. Looks like it's got its original Ford battery. Maybe back there you guys can see the V10. Now what's interesting is this one has a metal air intake on the engine, while the F650 had a plastic, I believe. But you can see no room to work on this thing, that's for sure. Nothing really to see in here at all. But yeah, flip this back down. I'll show you guys, these mirrors are not adjustable at all. I'll break the glass before it adjusts at all. All right, get back in here before I freeze. Okay, to kind of sum up, you guys, obviously I use this only because I needed a car trailer that could haul my ridgeline. If I didn't have that, if Penske or Budget offered, Ryder only does 2 ways, and I just only does, round trip. So the only option was Budget, U-Haul, or Penske. And since I drove, this is actually Dallas, Texas, drove all the way here, I needed to tow my truck. So their car hauler is the only one that could handle it, and that's essentially was my only option, because you can't get a Penske truck and hook up a U-Haul trailer to it. That's not how it works. But yeah, so if I had the option, I would much rather have gone with Penske, but this truck did work. It's not really maintained that well. The tires are kind of iffy. No cruise control. I called the people asking to see if they could find me a truck with cruise control, and they laughed at me. So from now on, if I don't, I always suggest if you have options, use them. Don't use U-Haul if you don't have to, and I'm going to stick to that. They got me here, but 7.3 miles per gallon, not fun. No cruise control, not fun. Bad customer service, not fun. And the price was actually, I want to say, a little bit more expensive than the other two. But let me know what you guys think. Comment, rate, subscribe. Oh, and this truck is not governed, by the way. That's it. I guess I should point, that's a Pro. You can go over 70 in this truck, or 65 if you're comparing it to Ryder. But comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this truck. And thanks for watching.